It's Margarita Skyber. In this video, I want to talk about repairs. It's a big topic that a lot of people don't talk about it because it's boring, but I do want to make a video about it because sometimes it just takes a long time to repair something and it costs a lot more than anybody would expect. And the question is why? I have a lot of my clients who somehow think that repairs should be not expensive, and I want to explain some of the repairs and why they are costly. Now, let's start without further ado with this ring, for example. You see this ring? It's missing one stone right here. This is my client's ring. It is made with rubies and amethyst. And if you think about it, one amethyst is missing. Amethyst is a semi-precious stone, so they are not very expensive, to be honest with you. But in this case, this ring is going to cost a lot more. Why? Because I will show you regular amethyst. They are right here. These are just different shapes, regular amethyst, African amethyst. They are your regular dark purple color. Let me bring it up close. They are beautiful dark purple color, but that is not the same color as in this ring. And let me show you how the two differ by a lot. The reason is because in this case, the amethyst that was set in this ring was a Brazilian amethyst of this interesting lavender color, which means that I would have to custom order a Brazilian amethyst in this particular color and shape. And so this is where a lot of customers think, oh, it's just one small semi-precious stone that fell out. Can you just, set a new one? If this would be a regular amethyst, an African amethyst, which we have in quite an abundance, and most jewelry stores do because that is your regular standard amethyst that everyone has, then that would be no problem. It would not be such an expensive fix. In this case, me ordering the stone, having that size, I have to still measure it. I believe this is going to be an 8x6, but I'm not sure. And then having it set and repolish the ring, this is going to run somewhere at about $150 to $200 by the time I'm finished with this ring. It's going to be beautiful and brand new. But nevertheless, this is not going to be a $20, $30 fix like a lot of my clients think. So I just wanted to explain this in this video that not every fix is the same amount of money. And has this been a regular amethyst, this would have been a lot cheaper. Let's take a look at this necklace, okay? This necklace is a shell pearl necklace. The clasp is gold and it's a little bit dented on one side, and that bothers the customer. A lot of these hollow locks on pearl necklaces, they dent a lot. Because they're hollow, they're just not as strong. So we deal with this a lot. There's not much that you can do with this kind of lock. There's actually nothing you can do about it. You can just either leave it as is and let the client know that there's nothing we could do. There's no way for us to undo this dent because no matter what we start doing, this will damage the whole clasp, and it's just such a tedious work that if I had to have my jeweler sit and try to fix this and he would take, let's say, 2-3 hours, you can imagine how much I would have to pay him to fix this. So in this kind of case, if the clasp is dented, all you can do is just substitute it with a new clasp, or just keep it, and that's about it, and there's nothing else that can be done. Or another problem is this is a shell pearl necklace, and at one point one of the clients came and said that one of the pearls were damaged. If you're buying Majorca or shell pearls, they are inexpensive pearls that are not real. And so if they're damaged in any way, there is not much that we can do either, because to find this particular ivory color in shell pearl, to have to order it, to restring the whole thing would cost you more than just getting a new shell pearl necklace. So please understand, shell pearls or Majorca pearls, you get what you pay for. They're inexpensive for a reason. You cannot do much with them. The gold clasp depends on the clasp, but a lot of the times it's just easier to buy a new gold clasp, put it in here. A new gold clasp of this size would probably be right now around $100 to $150, depending on the gram weight of the actual clasp. So we would have to charge for labor. Labor would be another, $30, $40. So this is going to be another $200 fix if the new clasp is going in. You can go for much cheaper lobster clasp in gold, which are a lot cheaper, but some people really like this whole ball shape. So if this is something we had to fix, that's how much it would cost. So I wanted to explain all these things because not all fixes are the same. And so I wanted to explain that unless you're going to a specialist that will assess this, if you're unsure about the place you went and they gave you a quote to fix something, my advice to you is go to several places. If this is important to you, and if you have the time, go to 2-3 jewelry stores and see how much they will charge you to fix these, and just get the feel for them. If they have explained to you why things are the way they are, then it's your choice to believe them or not. I would go with someone who I trust and feel comfortable, because there have been times that some of my clients went elsewhere and they got it fixed, supposedly, let's say, with the same type of gold clasp. And they came back to me years later saying it's weird that it's gotten black or whatever else happened to it. And we checked and it turned out to be silver, for example. But they paid, like it was gold. They obviously paid a lot less. So in jewelry, I just want to explain to you, things are hard to find a deal. Let's just put it this way. If somebody's quoting you too cheap, unless they have explained why they're quoting you too cheap, for example, it's a 9 karat or 10 karat clasp, and that's why it's on the cheaper side, then maybe. But there's no magic. If they're telling you, yeah, I can do this for $50, the same clasp, gold and everything, you really have to think, then why? Why would 2 other jewelry stores want to charge me $150 or $200? So, and I'm not saying it's not impossible, and that's another problem in the jewelry industry, because if you went to some smaller shop and not a large place, they might just have one of these in stock from years ago, or they might have this from some old jewelry piece that they don't mind selling to you and fixing it. Because I do have a lot of those situations too, where the customer came to someone who's a small shop and they do a lot of cash for gold, and so the clasps always stay with them. So whenever they fix a chain or a clasp on the chain, it costs a lot more than me buying a new one today. Because if I'm buying a new one today, you have to understand my supplier is charging me the gold dollars today, how much it is today based on what the gold is today. But if some small shop down the street just happen to have it, then of course they can be more lenient with the price. So it all comes down to trust, and it all comes down to reviews. In all my videos, I tell you to do one thing. Do your homework, please. Make sure the reviews check in. Make sure you get a positive feedback from the person. Make sure they take the time to explain what they're about to do. Ask a lot of questions, because the more questions you ask, the more answers you will get and understand whether that's your person or not to deal with. Because although some fixes are super easy and not sentimental, we've come across a lot of clients for whom the fixing of the jewelry was very sentimental to get it right. So some of the pieces are very dear to you, and I understand that, and they need to be fixed the right way. It's Margarita Skyping, and I hope you learned something new in this repair episode. I'll see you in the next video.